Hello and welcome back to recreating The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past inside of Minecraft. This is the final video we'll ever be making solely about items, so enjoy it while it lasts. In this final part I want to go over every item that has an enchanted version. This is a completely new feature that we've decided to add into our recreation. In the sorta sequel to A Link to the Past, which is A Link Between Worlds, you can upgrade your items to their nice versions, which gives them buffs or completely new features altogether. We copied over this mechanic and came up with our own upgraded versions of 10 plus items. Currently it is not possible to enchant an item yet, and in the final game there will be an enchanted stone item that lies around the map in hard to find locations. You will then be able to take these items to a new NPC and upgrade any unlocked item of your choice. This mechanic was heavily inspired by Hollow Knight's Pale Ore item. I should warn you all that some of these enchanted versions are insanely disappointing because some items are just small in mechanic already, so an enchanted version would add even less. The lamp is a pretty small item, but it's a pretty important one too. It can light lanterns, and since adding it in a previous video, I've also added this cool yet short ambient lighting effect when the item is used. Anyways, the enchanted version of the lamp also has the ability to light enemies on fire. This is a mechanic voted in by my testers via a poll on their Discord server. I also made the enchanted version of the lamp use a little bit less magic. The regular boomerang does not have an enchanted version since I view the magical boomerang to be an upgrade of it. You can get an enchanted version of the magical boomerang though. I already showed off its features in a previous video where I added the magical boomerang. The enchanted version here has a lifesteal mechanic. If the boomerang deals 4 hearts of damage for example in its trajectory, you'll be healed 2 hearts. This is probably one of my most favorite and original enchanted item features. The hookshot allows you to reach far places, but what if you wanted to go even farther? The regular version has a distance limit of 20 blocks, but the enchanted version has a 30 block distance to grapple towards. That's it, that's the whole item. Enchanted magic powder is probably the most underwhelming one on this list. God, this video's retention rate will be terrible. It simply uses less magic. I'm covering both of the fire and ice rod at once since they have the exact same buff. The normal fire and ice rod allow you to send out a fireball or an ice ball. I've also added particles to these since their video back in July of 2022. The enchanted versions can shoot out 3 balls at once. This also comes at triple the cost though. If you only have enough magic left for 2 balls, it will only shoot out 2 balls. The regular magic hammer allows you to smash stuff like enemies, and some even have custom mechanics related to this item, and pots. The enchanted version uses less magic and there is a higher chance that frozen enemies drop some magic when smashed. The Cane of Samaria, as I mentioned in a previous video, is one of my personal favorites from the item list. It creates a block that you can push into enemies to damage them. The enchanted version of this item creates a block that can withstand more hits before being destroyed. This block also deals slightly more damage than its non-enchanted counterpart. The Cane of Burna, also one of my favorites, allows you to toggle a protective barrier. This barrier deals damage to colliding enemies and disables damage to the player. The enchanted version deals more damage to those enemies, uses less magic when active, and has a different particle around the player to indicate the enchanted version. The magic cape is incredibly similar to the Cane of Burna. It also makes you invisible, but it uses a one-time magic cost. The enchanted version simply lowers this cost and ups the duration of the effect. Finally, let's discuss the 3 medallions and their enchanted versions. The Aether medallion strikes enemies in the air, but also those on the ground. Its enchanted version has double the damage and also double the range for enemy damaging. The Quake medallion only affects enemies on the ground since it shakes the floor when used. The enchanted version of this medallion also sends those enemies flying into the air when used for a little more damage. The Bombos medallion summons a giant explosion that damages nearby enemies. Its enchanted version, like the Aether medallion, has double the range and double the damage. And that is all. Since these features are all pretty small, this video was probably quite short, and instead of displaying a separate clip for each thing, which would take like 10 seconds, I overlaid the showcase onto my explanation. I hope you didn't mind this shorter video, because we're actually working on some pretty big stuff behind the scenes, like an entire custom dialogue system we'll probably feature in a shorter video in the future. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.